Hello and welcome to the latest dressing room debrief where Chelsea came out eventual winners 2-1 over West Ham, the return of Graham Potter to Stamford Bridge since he got sacked. And yeah, it wasn't pretty, but a win's a win, I suppose, is probably the only positive I can really take from it. The majority of the game was poor. We were slow, we were lethargic. It was like sticking pins in my eyes, to be honest. It was so boring to watch that it was just, I don't know what's happened to Chelsea recently, where before Christmas, well, certainly before the Everton game on the 22nd of December, there was so much free flowing passing. There was passages of play. You could actually see what the team were trying to do. But now that's all gone. I have no idea. It's like we've gone a step backwards again, where there was teams showing progress where you're like, yeah, you can see what they do. We might not win, but we will have chances because of the way we play. Now teams sit in low block all the time. We have no idea of how to break it down. They did that before, but we moved it so fast that we'd always still create chances no matter what how the other team played. And I just don't see that anymore. It's so slow from, like, I'd say back to front, but we don't really get to front because we're too busy passing it around with the keeper and the defense sideways. And no one really sort of goes at players. There's no like right back, left back running over. Actually, to be fair, I take that back because Cucurella plays amazing defensively and going forward. It was good to see that Maresca finally had the balls to drop Sanchez after the amount of mistakes he's cost us in points and goals. It was good to give Jorgensen a run out, I think. And to be honest, if when we play Brighton in the FA Cup and then Brighton next week, if he's not, maintaining his starting position, then I think it's a bit of a shambles because I think he deserves a bit of a run in the team now. And I just thought their goal, I couldn't really see West Ham doing anything in front of goal, to be honest. They weren't really threatening until Cole decided to pass it to Jared Bowen for their goal. Another mistake. And how I can't, I've lost track of the amount of times of how many moments this season we've literally gave away goals, whether it's our defenders, keeper, just passing it backwards aimlessly, doing unforced errors, really. And I just want to know what's happened to defending in football because it's an absolute shambles at the moment. There's no such thing. You don't see any tackles, partly down to the fact that you literally breathe on another player nowadays and you get a yellow card or VAR sort of look at it and say it's a red. It's literally not a contact sport anymore. You can't really tackle at all. And then defenders now are so coached into being ball players rather than defenders that defending's just dying out. You see, like Colwell, prime example, getting dominated in the air, getting dominated by hold up play by Jared Bowen, who's a nippy winger. And then you've got people like Kudus and that having the freedom of Stamford Bridge to run on goal without anyone pressing him. You saw it in the Arsenal match as well with John Stones not pressing Party, and literally a few of their goals came from people just shooting outside the box because they had so much time. Defenders are just jockeying back. It's like at some point you've got to step out and make a tackle or shut down the shot, and they don't. They just jockey back. And I just think it's just such a shambles these days. No one can defend. I feel like James looks like he's still got a bit of a handbrake on. I don't think he's moving as freely as he did before his injury. And I don't know whether that's because it's very caution, but I hope we can see him back to his best soon. And Cucurella, I'm absolutely loving at the moment. Him and Trevor Chalobah, which I don't know why Trevor Chalobah was dropped when he's one of our best centre backs. He's just unreal, a real turnaround from what we saw 2 seasons ago when he looked abysmal when we signed him. Now he's one of our best players defensively going forward. He just like never stops, and I love that. The energy he brings to the team is great. And credit where credit's due. And normally of late have been very critical of Maresca being slow to change or not changing it at all when teams have got on top or it's very like lethargic. You can't see anything happening bar a draw. And he saw it happening when we were 1-0 down just before half time, come back out 5 minutes in, wasn't working, changed the game completely with his substitutions. And they had a massive impact. Neto was exceptional. I thought that him and Nkuku on the wings helped free up space in the middle for Palmer, and we started to get Palmer on the ball more. And he started to cause the West Ham problems. Neto, for me, has got to be a starter in most of the games because of his work rate. And he was just a problem all game when he came on. He was running at defenders, and I just think he gives that sort of up and down that Madueke doesn't. Madueke's too busy geeing up the crowd when Chelsea are playing the ball sideways in defence, and that's partly what's wrong with the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge at the moment, because any sort of atmosphere they got going is instantly killed by the fact that what you're watching is just so poor. I mean, I know you can't sort of judge your atmosphere based on how well like a team's doing, but you can't blame fans for not sort of being ferocious in their support when you've got your defenders just passing it sideways and it's so slow, and there's, what's there to get excited about? So yeah, I just really dislike that when players do that. But yeah, Neto and Palmer were quality in the second half. I thought Nkuku, fair play to him. All right, people say he's a bit of a passenger, but if I'm watching Nicholas Jackson play 10 games in a row, looking barely like he can control the ball, missing loads of sitters, and you're not getting a chance as a striker, and he's a established striker, then you'd be a bit pissed off as well. I just don't think how like I'd want to leave because I'm not getting a fair crack. I come on for like 5 minutes here and there, but I never get a run in the team when the striker who I'm meant to be competing with is playing poorly and missing so many chances. Like when's my chance sort of thing? And I thought Mark Gui, he deserves to, if he's not injured, he deserves to play on Saturday and next week, because the energy he brings to the team is phenomenal. To closing down the pressing, I just think these players need to be given a chance, and I hope to see that when we play Brighton going forward.